Welcome back, everybody, to a special interview here on Take Two Podcast. As you know, I'm Brian, and I am joined by a very special guest. And this guest I found like magically through the Twitters, which has become a good thing, as much as social media can be a bad thing. But in this realm, it's good. And I found Miss C. Amanda Mudd. Now, folks, the hottest topic right now in the movie world is Zack Snyders Justice League. And this young lady was in the movie. Miss Amanda Mudd, how are you, first of all?
I am well, thank you. The sun is shining here, and that doesn't happen all the time, so I'm in a good mood. Thank you.
I was going to say, you're in London, right? So there's not
Yeah.
the most sunshine. Okay.
No, but when the sun comes out, it makes it the most beautiful place on earth. So.
I will not disagree. My family and I vacated there last year, and we lucked out. We had sunny weather every single day, and people were like, you struck gold here because it's gorgeous. I'm like, well, we agree. It does look beautiful. Okay, so you put out on Twitter, just curious, hey, my scene got cut from the theatrical version. Does anybody know if I now made it into this one? And before I could even finish reading that, a litany of folks responded, yes, and you were amazing. That's all true. So is this kind of how you actually found out that you had made this version?
It's exactly how I found out. I had no idea until Thursday. And it was a completely innocent tweet. I thought, oh, I know how I can figure out. And I can also figure out how to watch it in the UK and you know, get some info on it and the buzz and stuff. And within 45 minutes, it was torrential. It was a gigantic thing for me. Anyway, I'd never experienced anything like that. And it's been wonderful. And just the amount of love and support and the outpouring of appreciation has been unparalleled in my long career. You called me a young lady, which I appreciate, but in my long career, I have never experienced such outpouring of appreciation. So thank you, everyone, all the fans, Snyder fans, DC fans,
Very cool. Well, I call it as I see it. And I mean, it is well-deserved. The one thing we spoke about, we just gave our review this week on this week's episode. And the one thing that this movie definitely has is more depth and more heart. And your character specifically adds so much more depth to than the cyborg character, and then so much more heart to it. So you just being in it, it makes total sense, your character adding so much. And then on top of it, you do an incredible job acting, because you show just a range and an arc of emotion in, you know, your limited scenes there of being completely down on your luck. And then boom, you get that little gift and everything is great and progresses fantastically. So every nice thing that everyone said, I fully echo, is a great job. And what you and your character added to the film is just phenomenal. So thank you very much for that.
I had no idea how much impact it was going to have. I even said in the tweet, I'm part of the backstory of Cyborg. And I didn't realize it was like the crux of it.
Yeah.
And the transformation moment really for him. And that smile, oh my God, that smile he gives is heartbreaking and exhilarating at the same time. I didn't know it was going to have such an impact. It was a real surprise to have lots of people tweeting at me that I went through this when I was growing up, or people saying, I'm a single mom, I completely empathize with your character. The Asian fan community saying it was really great to see an Asian woman up there, an Asian woman struggling, because, you know, we're not all brainiacs, and it's, you know, the model minority myth. That a lot of us are struggling, especially right now with the Stop Asian Hate and
Sure.
Everything that's going on over here and over there.
It was good to see a little positive in that realm. Now, I was going to ask you, Ray Fisher was with you in those scenes, because, you know, it's shot kind of from behind. So I was curious if he was even there or not.
In the main ATM scene, he was there, definitely. And you know, that you do several takes. And at one point I went over to him and I went, hey man, how you doing? And I went, doof, and I hit his arm, and I was like, wow, that, I don't know what that is, but that, wow. And I was afraid I damaged something, but so he was there. He mostly was trying to get the little girl's attention because I wasn't supposed to know he was there.
Ah,
And
right, right.
the little girl, I think there's a tiny, tiny moment where you can see her looking at Cyborg while I'm having my little happy dance.
Oh, okay.
Um, so he was trying to get her to look at him. Um, so he was there. I met him. We didn't have a whole lot of interaction. The same with Zack Snyder. He was there. He did direct me, but it wasn't a whole lot. At that kind of level of filmmaking, I think the main thing I had to do was not mess up.
Sure.
The crane shots and the rain effects and the sets, the Gotham Street was just unbelievable. And I just kept thinking, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up. And so I did talk to Zach briefly. We were introduced, but he had to leave early. He had to go call his wife. So that was my brush with fame on the set.
Is he a multiple take kind of guy? Did you get the sense
Yeah,
of? Or?
there were several takes. Yeah, and there were little things like the PIN number, the PIN for her account. That was changed halfway through. Like there was one that I think was 2437, and then there was one that I think was 1980 something, and I think those might have been Easter eggs, but I cannot actually remember what the numbers were.
Okay.
So.
Now I have to go watch it again to try and figure out what that Easter egg was. You gave us an Easter egg of an Easter egg. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
The other Easter egg is that technically your character is Linda Reed.
Yes.
Who that's not really talked about, but people have kind of figured that out as fans go nuts with these things. So are we going to see you back as Girl Archer later? Are they going to progress your character into what the comics had back in the 50s with Linda Reed? Hopefully. Can you shoot a bow and arrow?
Not one with a sharp point. I've done really good, in the arcade and stuff. I've done arcade.
Okay.
And I am from Minnesota, which Linda Reed is from Minnesota. So I don't know. I've just seen an article where Zack Snyder rejected that was intentional. And that's a shame because that would have been cool because I am from Minnesota.
We're changing it starting today. Hashtag restore the Linda Reed verse. We're going to get you back in. If his stuff gets pushed, we want Linda Reed back in. We want Girl Archer back in. But that's so cool. I mean, that's just so cool to, you were such a part of comic book lore now. With that, I did mean to ask with Ray Fisher, what was it? I assume he had like a mocap type suit on, for the Cyborg.
He was mostly covered with when I saw him, when I filmed with him, he was mostly covered with the hooded sweatshirt.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And as I say, I was required not to look at him.
Right. That's true.
So there might have been, because I don't remember him looking like that in the theatrical release. I feel like he's been zhuzhed up.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that he looks so much better. I mean, he looks so much more supernatural and heroic.
Right.
So I don't recall seeing the full Cyborg outfit.
Gotcha.
I remember the hoodie mostly and the eye.
Gotcha. So how did you get this role? Did you have to audition? Did you have to go through a series callbacks? What have you?
I auditioned. It was 2016, summer of 2016. You get auditions here and there. Sometimes they're for small things, sometimes they're for big things. I thought this was a big thing because I had signed an NDA. I don't remember exactly when I knew it was Justice League. But I didn't know that's what it was going in. And it was the one scene. It was just the ATM scene.
Gotcha.
And I did the action of the ATM. And believe me, I've been in that position many, many times. So I was able to tap into that feeling very, very much. And then the line, which I think was, thank God, my God, thank God. I think that's what the line was. Sure. And then when I finish an audition, I try not to think about it anymore. And I was doing a small play at the time. so I was able to just get back into work on that. And then around September, I get this text from my agent saying, okay, so you have a costume fitting on this day, and then your availability check for shooting is here and here. And I was like, what is that? And she checked, and I was in the movie. So I went to the costume fitting. Was one of my favorite parts of the whole experience. I went to the costume fitting, and the designers and the costume people showed me my waitress outfit, and I was happy with that. And then they turned and showed me an entire rack of clothes and said, these are the rest of your costumes.
Ooh.
And it was only at that moment that I realized it was more than one shot. It was more than one scene. So, and it just kept going and going from there. Like, when I arrived the first day, it's like, okay, we'll take you to your trailer. I was like, and it had a little sign outside saying waitress. I was like, oh my God, I have a trailer. And it was 4 days shooting, 2 days with the Splinter unit, 1 day with second unit, and 1 day with the principal unit. And
wow.
that was a night shoot. That was the main scene with Ray and Zack.
That's so cool.
And it was, I mean, much like the last few days have been surreal, it was kind of surreal being on the set. Also, I have a tendency to kind of get lost sometimes.
Uh-oh.
So, like, I've gotten lost going around a corner before, and I couldn't find my way back to where it started. So there were people accompanying you everywhere, and it's like, okay, well, you needed babysitting, essentially.
Oh, wow.
Because it was so complicated. There were so many different, like the Splinter set was on one side, and then the Gotham Street set was on another side, and the Gotham Street set was incredible. And I lived and worked in New York for a long time, and I really miss it all the time. And being on that set was a little bit like being in the Lower East Side or something of Manhattan. And so it felt like home a little bit, that Gotham set.
So cool. So very cool. Thank you so much for now giving us, Linda Reed, and giving us this character, and being such a part, and being the heart of Cyborg's character, which then became the heart of this restored verse. I am going to champion this hashtag restore the Linda Reed verse. Get Girl Archer going for it. If they continue somehow, get Girl Archer in here. For you personally, though, for your acting things, you do have a band. You're in a band, Wonder Mare. Is that correct?
Wonder Mare, that is correct, and it has nothing to do with Nightmare. Okay. It is the bass player has an amazing horse called Miranda, and she's called the Wonder Mare. And when we were trying to think names, she just came up with it, and it fit. And we end up doing songs about horses somehow, horses and dogs, and really kind of dark comedy. And what do I call it? Folk rock with a punk ethos. Okay. We're all middle-aged actors, and we're all part East Asian. Okay. So we have a lot to say and a lot of experience to tap into.
Gotcha. Cool. Okay. So second album coming soon.
Second album is in the works. We have written the songs, but we haven't actually worked on them because of the pandemic. We haven't been able to work on them together. So the first album is on Spotify, iTunes, CD Baby, Apple Music, all those streaming services. Beautiful. Check us out. I am by no means a musician, but this has been a wonderful way for me to express myself, is the band. Nice. So check it out, man.
Sounds beautiful. Sounds great. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on. We hope to have you back when your agent calls you again later and says, hey, by the way, we have another film for you to be on. Come back on our show. Tell us all about it. Definitely. Especially the ones that you have to sign the NDAs for. Those we really want you for.
Definitely.
Amanda, thank you so much for coming on Take Two Podcast.
Thank you. It's been a thrill. Thank you.